My view is President Biden is going to have to run on his legislative victories, which I think he has a lot. I think if you looked over the last 2 years and you look at the Inflation Reduction Act, which helped, solve one of the biggest issues, which is prescription drug pricing and Medicare pricing, I think that's going to be viewed incredibly well on the stump. I think that his bipartisan infrastructure plan that got passed equally is going to be, viewed incredibly positive by so many different states, because they're going to see the execution of those projects going up, whether it's fixing the road or fixing the bridge or helping out with Wi-Fi. So those are real wins to run on. I also think, like I said, inflation will subside. I don't think we're going to go into recession. I think we're going to have some wind at our back into 24 in the economy, and I'd like to think that he's going to be able to run on that. My guess is the other side, the Republican side, first, they're going to go through what we went through a few years ago, a brutal primary season. And for me, it will be fun to watch and comment on it. But it's going to be a tough season because today, President Trump, has a plurality of 30+%. And, he has, such views on things that I think he brings a polarization within the party. Forget about Democrats versus Republicans, but just within the Republican Party. So it will be interesting how whether it's DeSantis or Nikki Haley or Pompeo or Sununu or Vice President Pence, it will be interesting how they, counter that. Do they attack him? Do they agree with him? So I think there's going to be a bit of their own food fight going on for the next few months. I would say, secondly, I think Governor DeSantis, we don't know. Yes, he had an incredible, election in Florida, for the most part, dominating the state. But we haven't seen him on the national stage, and we don't know if he's more of a Governor Walker, 2016, that had a bit of a glass chin that Trump popped, pretty quickly, or is he more of, President Obama for the Republican Party, where, he becomes, that leader of the party quickly and, takes off from there. We don't know, but certainly it's going to be a bruising battle. Then the other thing is, I would say I'm incredibly surprised what they've said on Ukraine and democracy. The idea that you have people like President Trump and Governor DeSantis, in some ways almost cheering for Russia versus Ukraine, versus, Nikki Haley and Pompeo and Pence making statements the other side. You're seeing battle lines within the Republican Party that we haven't seen. I mean, this is not the party of Reagan, that's for damn sure. And I grew up on Wall Street during, the Reagan time and during the Russia time. So this is very different from that. And I think, therefore, there's going to be some real split issues coming up inside the party during this primary. And I think President Biden's lucky that he's an incumbent, because he can sit back and just kind of jab where he needs to, but doesn't have to be in the front of a primary season.